Alright, hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be taking a quick look at the new BR changes which were posted on the forums just a couple hours ago. I've also linked them down in the comments if you want to, or in the description if you want to go have a quick look at them. But I'm going to be going through all three game modes today. And of course I'm going to start with ground because that's where I guess my main domain is. And yeah, I mean I'm going to go through the most important ones on this video. I'm not going to go through everything because there's no point. But yeah, we're going to first start off here with the AMX-13FL11. Now this thing here, when you first look at it, it's basically just a French Chaffee. It has the same gun as the Chaffee except for the fact that it actually lacks a stabilizer. It has worse reverse as far as I know. It has less crew, and the only real difference is that its engine is here in the front. So maybe at that BR more people like kind of shoot this like front area and don't kill it and it survives. I don't really know what merits it from having a 0.6 of a BR difference to the Chaffee, which has a stabilizer and stuff. But you know, I guess Gaijin thinks that it makes sense to bring it up. I personally disagree, but I guess it is what it is. Now the next notable tank that's going up in battle rating is the Leopard 4070. It's going from 5.0 to 5.3. And this thing actually makes a bit more sense. I mean, you know, it kind of already doesn't really fit in at that BR because the chassis is from like 8.0. The gun is from, well, technically at 4.7 in naval, but it doesn't really exist in ground. You know, so it's a bit of an odd thing to have at 5.0, and even at 5.3 I think it'll still be able to be powerful enough to play there. So I guess that's kind of a good thing to make sure that it doesn't annihilate 4.0 tanks in a full down tier. Now the next two vehicles that I'm going to be talking about is the TPK 6.41 and the AMX 10P. Both of these are going from a 5.3 to 5.7. Now that's a bit odd, mostly because both of these are like French SPAA and they're both at like the same battle rating, so they're not really filling in any gaps. I mean, there's still this 5.3 to 8.3 gap, which is kind of just completely open with nothing, but for some reason then all the SPAA kind of just concentrates in this area, which you know, I find somewhat not optimal. The AMX 13 DCA 40 is also going from 4.3 to 5.0, which means that there's going to be a BR span of 0.7 here within 3 vehicles, and then there's like nothing for a good 3 BRs. You know, it's not too optimal. I mean, the AMX 10P doesn't have to go up till 7.7 or whatever, and that wouldn't make sense, but it's kind of weird for them to add all of these AAs and just have them all in the same place when it would possibly be better to focus development on things which would fill in the gap here at 7.7 or even at 6.7 so that France could actually have a decent AA at that BR. Now the next egregious change, or arguably the most egregious change these changes are bringing, is the T20. This thing is going from 6.0 to 6.3. Now, to sort of really summarize this tank, you can think of it as a Sherman merged with a Panther, where it kind of has a somewhat strong turret, where the armor is actually, you know, pretty decent because dismantle it and stuff, and it kind of adds up with whatever is behind there. It's actually quite strong, but the upper frontal plate is still quite weak. I mean, if you go check out the protection analysis here, go select the M62 shot, you can see that it yeah, goes right through, which is not optimal. Of course, here the turret mantlet is kind of strong, but even then it actually kind of eats the round and takes out the breach, so maybe it isn't as strong as I thought it would be. I guess what makes this tank really good is the reverse gear and the stabilizer. Does it warrant going to 6.3 though? Not really. I mean, the armor is kind of just worse than a Panther, and the only thing that really makes it good is that stabilizer. So yeah, other than that, it's kind of also still that same 76 gun, which is gonna have a whole lot of trouble in up tiers, because it already does, because against the King Tiger or even, you know, just yeah, another Pershing or something, you're gonna have difficulty with this thing. So yeah, I really don't see this as too fair of a thing to do to this tank, but yeah, let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Now the next change that is made, of course, is the Type 99. This thing is going from 7.0 to 7.3. That's fine. This thing is probably one of the most powerful SPGs in the game. To make it go up in BR is definitely not a surprise, or to see it go up in BR is definitely not a surprise, because yeah, the reload coupled with the extremely good shell and muzzle velocity, as well as the proximity fuse, which goes the same speed, really makes it a strong vehicle. In fact, a very strong vehicle. So to see it go up is only natural. Now, I guess the one problem you could have with it is actually no, you actually have a pretty decent lineup, so never mind. You should be completely fine actually. So yeah, I think this change is logical. I think it makes sense. And to see it go up, it probably won't even harm it that much, because you know, as you go up in BR, you also face more vehicles which are more lightly armored. So this may actually be even a good thing for this thing. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Now, the arguably second most egregious change that's being made is the T95. I guess Gaijin really doesn't like the Americans and the French this battle rating change season, because the T95 here is going from 7.0 to 7.3. Now, do I think this is justified? Not really. The T95 is admittedly a vehicle that I just don't really play that often, because it's incredibly slow, it's incredibly boring to play, and its only like use case is in like a very small map where everyone kind of goes down a very predictable path. Stuff like Rhine or maybe Sinai is a very good example of that. Even Breslau is kind of too big for this thing, because by the time you get to the battlefield, you get bombed or you're strafed anyway. So your armor isn't of that much use. The gun is very good, but you can also find this same gun on the T29 at 7.0, and this thing is staying here. And admittedly, it's also a whole lot more combat effective in my opinion in comparison to the T95, just because it has a turret. It can actually move around the place. You can also reverse, and yeah, I mean, it's also just in my opinion a whole lot more of a versatile tank. So yeah, to see the T95 go up in battle rating is yeah, quite odd. I wouldn't want to see it. I mean, do you still have a lineup at that BR? I mean, I guess you have the over-tiered T32, you have the over-tiered T95 now, and I guess you also have the M47. So, I mean, I guess you do have a lineup, but half of it is kind of just over-tiered vehicles. I think the T32 should also go down to 7.0, but you know, I guess that probably won't happen, because I don't know, they don't want that. Now, the next change that that's kind of important is the AMX, not the AMX, the char 25T. Now, this tank here, it was originally at like 7.3, then it went to 7.7, and now it's going to 8.0. And this thing here, it's definitely very strong, right? It's got an extremely good round, albeit it's still like one of those conventional rounds, so it's not AP, FSDS, or Heat FS. So, you know, your pen is kind of limited to doing side shots, not really frontal shots, but you know, I guess you do have a 4-second reload to kind of compensate for that. Then again, does it really deserve to see an XM803 in a full up tier, which it really can't do anything against frontally? In my opinion, not really. And yeah, I mean, I guess Gaijin C thinks that it's fair to move it up in battle rating, but I am rather critical of this decision, just because you'll face more stabilizers now, and yeah, it won't be that much of a nice time. The same thing kind of applies to the AMX 50 TO90. This thing has basically the same turret, just a different hull. You know, I guess these two are very similar tanks, so the same things that I said to the char 25 apply to this tank as well. You know, it has a gun that it has quite a lot of trouble already against 8.7 up tiers, where you face something like the T55 AM1, where you can't really do a whole lot against them, except for like maybe shoot their cupola if they, you know, face you frontally, but even then that's kind of 50-50. And then again, at 9.0, you also have, you know, tanks such as the XM803, like I said, which you will have a whole lot of difficulty fighting against. So yeah, to move this up makes me very sad. But then again, maybe I'm a bit biased because I actually really like this lineup here. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this change in the comments below. Of course, with these two tanks here, also what's going up is the Somwa SM. I don't have this tank bought. I guess it's just that good. This one has the 100mm though, which I don't really like that much. So I guess, yeah, someone who actually plays that can tell me how it is, but to put it to 8.0, I don't know. It's tough. Definitely tough for those tanks. Now, another change that's being made is that the Falcon is going up from 8.0 to 8.3. Now, the Falcon has kind of been just creeping up the battle ratings every single time the changes come out, or at least every other time the changes come out. Like, I think this thing used to be like maybe 7.3 or 7.0 even, and now it's 8.0. I mean, what makes this thing very strong, there we go, I can finally speak, is the APDS, which you only get 1 in 4 rounds as APDS, but I guess that's still good enough to warrant it to go up in BR. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't really play this thing, so I don't know how good it is, but it doesn't have a radar, which is the one thing, so I'm kind of it's okay, I guess. I'm not really gonna talk about it too much. Now, talking about SPA, I guess the 2 other ones that are going up is the Strela 10M2 from 9.3 to 9.7, as well as the Type 81 from 10.0 to 11.0, which is actually quite a big jump. The Strela, admittedly, it's very strong as an SPA because its missiles have really good G tolerance. Same goes for the Type 91 or Type 81. Although I don't have that vehicle, so I actually don't know how it is. But I've heard that it's very strong, so I guess that's pretty fair. Although maybe the Strela could maybe go up a bit more, but you know, maybe Gaijin, I guess, doesn't think so. But like I said, let me know what you guys think of these changes in the comments below, because then again, maybe my opinion isn't exactly, yeah, not relevant, but not representative of the majority of the player base. So it's always good to hear from you guys from what you think. So I guess for Aviation, maybe I'll start with the good things, is that, yeah, 12.7 is being added now. So that means that 11.3 premiums can breathe a breath of fresh air because they no longer have to see the likes of SU-27 or F-16C anymore. So I guess planes like the MiG-23ML or the F-4S, as well as the F-4J UK, and what else was there? There was another plane, but you know, whatever. Those premium planes are going to have a bit of an easier time now, just because they won't have to be facing these planes anymore. In fact, they may become even like really strong, just because a lot of like 12.0 planes are not going to get sucked up there to 12.7. So you might actually have a whole lot of good time in those premium planes now, just because you don't have to see these things anymore. There are a couple planes though missing, admittedly, like stuff like the MiG-29G is yeah, just vacant from the changes, despite being, I guess, very similar to the MiG-29 SMT. You're also missing the F-15s for some reason, so that's also yeah, a bit weird, as well as the Mirage 2000 S or Mirage 2000C S4, which was the recent event vehicle, which is basically identical to the S5. Yeah, I think it just gets a bit less flares, but that's not going up in battle rating for whatever reason. There's also more good news, actually, and that's the fact that the F5E is going up in battle rating. Now, I haven't really played the F5E too much because I just don't play planes that much, but I've heard that it was really strong, so I guess this is a positive change, question mark, I don't know, probably. Now, 2 changes that I'd like to talk about before going on to naval is, yeah, the A6M5 Co. Now, this thing here, when I first bought it off of the Gaijin store, it was at battle rating 4.7, and there it was pretty strong, but oh, it was already kind of a bit slow. And then it went to 5.0, which means it became even slower, and now it's going to 5.3, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe just the players it's facing just aren't that good at the game. I don't know what's going on with it, because this thing will get outsped by everything, and anyone stupid enough to turn fight this thing probably deserves to die. Okay, maybe not, but you know, it's quite odd to see this thing go even higher now. Same thing kind of applies to the J6K1, which I believe I do not have, but I can preview here in the hangar. It's basically, I believe, just kind of a heavier N1K, and it's going up to 6.7 from 6.3, which is quite weird because the P51H, if we go check out where that thing is in the tree, hold on, where is it? Yeah, it's at 6.3, and this thing is a rocket ship when it comes to props. And for some reason, this thing gets to stay. So I don't know what's going on there. Of course, I don't work at Gaijin, so they make their own decisions, but it is certainly a bit odd. Other than that, the air changes don't really have anything too significant. I guess all the year 2s are going down, which is very good because they were painful anyway. So it's good to see them finally get the recognition they deserve. And also, I guess another odd change is that the P51, D10, and D20 are going down to 4.0. Is that necessary? I don't know. I haven't really played them, but it would certainly make them even stronger. So yeah, that'll be very interesting to see. Now, as for naval, there's only really one change that makes me really sad, and that's that the Blagorodny, Noistrashimi, and Spokojny are all going up to 5.3. This makes me sad because these were my go-to vehicles when I wanted to grind silver lines. But yeah, they're definitely very strong, so yeah, I mean, I guess it's sort of justified, but it does make me very, very sad. So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I'd rather that not happen. But yeah, I mean, that does it for my video here. It definitely was a bit of a shorter one, but that's because I just don't really talk that much. I mean, the BR changes, they have, you know, the one good thing about these changes is that the fact that 12.7's coming into the game. The other ones, though, I view with a bit more of a critical eye, I guess you could say, because, yeah, I mean, a lot of the ground changes, they make me sad. There's a couple of justified ones, like the Type 99 or the Strela or the Type 81. But yeah, a couple of vehicles are just, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like, the T20 is just a weird one. Like, does it really deserve to go to 6.3? Like, I already asked that question, or I was already internally asking that question when the Pershing went up to 6.7. I was like, what is going on here? And I mean, I don't know what's going on there, but you know, it is what it is. And also another really odd BR is like the M4T26. What makes this thing 6.0? I don't know, because I mean, sure, the turret's really strong, but like the hulls are Sherman. Like, what's going on? I don't know. But yeah, I think that'll do it. That'll be it for me today. Yeah, like I said, if you have any opinions on these BR changes, then do let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.